Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Today I'm going to show you how I cook a brisket on my drum, and we're going to turn it into some awesome brisket tacos. I'm going to be using my AP season, but I'm also going to get a good layer of some southwestern flavor in there. Some cumin, some chili, some chipotle peppers, all that's going to go on top of this brisket, make a great bark on the outside. We're going to get it smoked up, sliced up, turned into some tacos, and you're going to love them. Let's get to cooking. So the only thing I've done to this brisket is taken out of the package, and I just kind of cleaned up the top a little bit, took a little bit of that fat and silver skin off. I'm not getting real crazy with it because some of that fat's flavor and I want it to render down. You just want to kind of make the brisket even to where it lays flat. Now over on the fat side, this is where briskets have a big hump on them. It's where the point connects to the flat. And I just kind of evened that out. I took a little bit of it off. You can see some of that point meat showing here, but we've got it all down to a good layer. The brisket's nice and flat. It's gonna cook straight, and this is how I want it. The first thing we're gonna do to it for seasoning is get a good layer of salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic. I'm using my AP rub. It's perfect on brisket. It's a great base layer for beef. Then I'm coming back with some Southwest flavor. I've got some cumin in here, some chili powder, some ancho peppers, some chipotle, all these great flavors that's gonna kind of give it a Southwestern taste to our brisket. And that's what I'm going for with these brisket tacos. Now we're gonna flip it over. The top side's gonna get the same treatment. Meat side, we're going AP. Good dose, salt, pepper, garlic. This is where we're gonna build our bark, get some good crust going, which brisket's supposed to have. Just pat it in a little, get a little on the sides. Now we're gonna come back with our chilies. And I'm going a little heavier on this top side. I want a good coat on this brisket. Seasoning looks great on this brisket. Now I'm just gonna let it hang out here at the board, come up to temperature a little more. We're gonna go fire up the drum. If you're cooking along, get your fire going and bring those temps up to about 275. Now I'm starting out today with some good lump charcoal in my fire basket. I'm just using a couple wax cubes to get the initial fire going, and it needs to burn about 20 minutes so those coals will get good and hot. That's when I put the lid on the grill and open all the vents up so the cooker will start coming up. Now as it approaches 275, that's when I'm gonna add a couple chunks of hickory wood for smoke. You can use whatever wood you like on brisket. I just like the flavor hickory's gonna give it here. Check those vents back to about a quarter open, and I'm gonna leave the top 100%. It's gonna hold temp steady at 275. All right, so I got the drum up to temperature, setting at 275. That's perfect for a big whole brisket like this. Got some of that hickory wood smoke rolling. Now we're ready to get this brisket right on the grate. I'm just taking it, kind of centering it up. Looks perfect right there. You want to get the lid back on it. Let's get it to cooking. Let's make some bark on the outside. So we're just gonna hold this brisket here for about 3 hours at 275. Doesn't matter what grill you're on, just hold those temps steady, put your favorite wood on there, get some smoke going. Then we're gonna show you how we're gonna break it down and get it tender. We're gonna get it in a liquid. I'm gonna go inside and put that together. We'll see you back out here at the grill in about 3 hours and check on our progress. For this brisket braising liquid that I'm using today, I'm starting out with some onion and garlic and just sweating it in a little bit of butter. To that, I'm gonna add 4 chipotle peppers, and we're just gonna mash those around in the pan, break them up a little bit. For some liquid, I'm using beef broth and a good Mexican beer. All this is gonna combine. We're gonna heat it up. We're not trying to boil and reduce it. We're just combining it. We're gonna pour it alongside that brisket when we get ready to wrap the brisket here in just a little bit. Okay, we've had the smoke rolling on this brisket for about 3 hours, and this is when it gets the color that I want it to get. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it out here and let you check it out. That brisket should have a good bark form. You can see we've got some good color on it, still real juicy. This is the point where I want to pan it. So now we've added our braising liquid to the pan, and I'm just gonna get my probe in. So I wanna watch what the internal does. So we got the brisket back on the pit. We're gonna hold temp steady there, 275 degrees, and I've got my ThermalWorks dot hooked up so I can watch those internals. Got my high alarm set at like 204. It's gonna be perfect internal temperature so we can get some nice tender slices. Right now we're set at about a 174, so we've got a ways to go. We're just gonna keep an eye on it, hold those temps steady, let it cook. We'll have brisket tacos before long. All right, we've hit temp here on our dot. We've taken this brisket to 204 degrees. We're not quite done because anytime I'm cooking brisket, I always want to give it a good 2-hour rest in a dry cooler. So now we're gonna get it off the smoker, Before we put it in the dry cooler and let it rest for a couple hours, I always want to vent off some of the steam. So I'm just going to open the foil. We're going to let some of the steam off of it, see what we're doing. That probe slides out like butter, and you can just take it and feel. When it's sliding in, there's no resistance. That's how you know that brisket's done. And man, this smell is unbelievable. It's got a great, like kind of southwestern smell. I know it's going to make some awesome tacos today. We're going to let it rest a little while, stop cooking. It's going to get real happy sitting in that dry cooler. All right, I let the brisket hang out in the cooler just for a couple hours, and that lets that cooking process stop. Then I just took it out of the jus and set it on the board here. Now we're ready to start cutting this dude up. And I also reserved that drippings that were in there, that jus that we made, and I run it through my separator here, and as you can see, the fats kind of ran to the top on it. Now we have pure flavor underneath, and we can use that to moisten up our brisket if we need it. So the first thing I'm going to do when we slice this up is go ahead and separate the flat and point back here. And I'm just going to cut it across. And look at all that juice run out of that dude. If you don't think that thing's moist, packed full of it, we're going to get to him in a second. But what we're going to do now is slice this flat. And I just want to figure out which way the grain's running. You can see it's going this way, so we're going to make our cuts across the brisket coming up. I'm just going to start on the edge. Cut it as thin or as thick as you like. I want a good sized bite for the taco. It's about 1/4 inch. See that moisture just running out of that brisket. It's beautiful. Now you can just see that moisture running out of that brisket as we squeeze it down. That's the money shots right there. I mean, just look at all that moisture. It's amazing. And you know that's going to be great on a taco. Some good fatty brisket. Let's move some of this. I'm running out of workspace here. Now for the point, I'm just going to cut into some bigger chunks here, because this is the part that I'm going to shred. I'm going to have tacos two ways. Some people like them shredded, some people like them sliced. The best way to do it is just use your knife and get your hand and just come in here and separate it out. That point looks awesome. And that's our shredded point right there. And I can't wait, I gotta try a piece of this. I mean, it's just moist. You can just see the fat that's rendered down, all that good brisket grease. It's delicious. That's brisket pandemonium, I'm telling y'all, it's so good. Let's make some tacos. All right, this brisket's sliced up, points pulled, it's ready to serve as is, but I wanted to show you how I build tacos. We're gonna start with some corn tortilla shells. I'm just gonna lay a few of them here on the board. We'll do a few tacos here at once. And I'm gonna do some with some slice to it. I like some of that fatty brisket, so I'll just go in here and let's get a piece of that fatty brisket and put on here. Tell you what, we'll do the slice side down this way. Then we'll do some of the shredded over here on this side. You can't go wrong however you do it. Now we need a little greenery. I'm gonna hit it with just a little bit of cilantro. Top these however you like. This is how I like them. I like keeping it pretty simple. Then we need some pickled red onion, a little bit of white onion. Squeeze some fresh lime over it. I like to add a little bit of avocado. These are gonna be colorful tacos. And the last thing I'm adding to these brisket tacos is a little avocado crema. And what I did is I started with a couple avocados and some garlic, got them going in the food processor, added some sour cream, a little bit of chipotle pepper, a little bit of salt. That's all there is to it. Hey, the only thing these tacos need is something cold to go with it. I just happen to have a margarita right here. I can't wait to try one. Let's see what we're working with. That makes me do the taco dance right there. Hey, y'all gotta check this recipe out. It's a great way to serve brisket in the summertime. I promise you're gonna love it. If you like what we're doing here at HowToBBQRight, subscribe to our channel. You can sign up for it. It'll let you know when we're putting out new videos. We're gonna put them out all the time. You can also send those questions to Facebook and Twitter. We love those. We'll see y'all next time.